know I'm reporting live from Postmodern Life. Hey guys, I'm Coco Sanchez, and this segment today is called Facts. Alright, so it's gonna be called Facts because I'm gonna be spitting facts for y'all. I'm going to talk about a bunch of subjects and a bunch of matters and a bunch of discussions that a lot of people are scared to talk about, but not even only are people scared to talk about, I want to address things that people have questions about that they don't really have insight on. I'm going to try my hardest to give the real, I'm going to try my hardest to give raw, and I'm just not going to be censored, you know. So the whole objective of this segment is to basically create a outlet for you guys to pretty much ask anything you want to ask, and then I'll answer in my perspective, but also from someone else's perspective. So I'm going to try to see both sides and just speak about the real and the raw. Today's subject is actually going to be about getting your tubes tied, because I had a young lady ask me about getting the tubes tied, and she basically asked me, should she or should she not get her tubes tied? Let's start off with me personally. I ain't getting shit tied unless I feel it's right and it's what I want to do. I started to talk to her a little bit more, and she started to explain to me that it was more so her husband had asked her to tie her tubes. Me, I'm not tying my tubes for my husband, because at the end of the day, he is not the one that's going to go through with not having a child, or if he changes his feelings, he can go out and have a kid. You're asking me to tie my tubes, and I just don't feel like I should do it unless I want to do it. So basically what I want to talk about today is reasons on why you should not or should tie your tubes. Let's start off with the first thing that I think, the first reason why I believe she shouldn't tie her tubes is the simple fact that her husband asked her. I'd like to think in my mind, and I might be wrong, that if a man asked me to tie my tubes, you see no future with me after that. If you can't risk having a child with your wife, or you are so involved in, like, I don't know, you're that deep into what you're doing that you can't wrap up, or you can't find other ways to not, you know, impregnate her, then I personally just can't see where you would be asking me, hey, can you tie your tubes? Why the hell would I be tying my tubes? I just don't see the point. I don't see the purpose unless I want to do it. If I said, you know what, today I don't want to have children anymore. I've had like 1 or 2 kids, or even if you just don't want to have children, period, and you know that for sure, this is just something you do not want to do it for yourself. Don't do it for someone else, because at the end of the day, they can turn around and change that shit on you. Your husband or whoever can ask you to tie your tubes, and then they ask, go out here and get somebody else pregnant. And I'll be damned if my tubes is tied and you go out and get somebody else pregnant. Not happening. So I personally was trying to explain to her that I think that if she is going to make this decision, it is something that she should think long and hard about, and it should be for her. Do not alter or change anything within yourself or your body because of someone else, basically. My husband, I'm sorry. If you marry me and you want and you ask me to tie my tubes, me in my mind, I'm going to think he's done with me. To me, it just feels like, you know what, you don't really like see a future past this moment. And then, I mean, if we have too many kids, that means find another alternative. Wrap up, like, or figure something else out. You don't have to get your tubes tied for someone else. And then there's the other side where I feel like, you know what, if your husband asked you to tie your tubes and you're that, like, you know, you're that committed to your partner, your spouse, I do believe that, I'm not going to say succumb, or like, it's going to sound a little submissive, but I'm going to say that I feel like, you know, a woman should please her woman in the sense of there are things that you're going to want to do for him. There's going to be things that he wants to do for you because you ask. Everybody has that. So I guess I can understand a little bit if someone asks you to tie your tubes, and not even someone, but your husband asks you to tie your tubes. I don't really see where the issue can be wrong, in the sense of, if you know he is committed to you, he loves you, he ain't walking out. It's just more so he doesn't want to have children, but he wants to be able to feel the real you, as men like to say, or the raw you. Like, nigga, you gonna feel this realness regardless. Like, it doesn't make sense. But if that's the case, then tie your tubes. I mean, me personally, I'm not tying shit. unless I want to tie it. And I'm not blaming anyone out there or knocking anyone out there who did tie their tubes. So please don't get this video misconstrued or mixed up or whatever. But yeah, so that's the question that she had asked me today. But I thought long and hard, and I'm like, damn, you know, what about Neo? That's a perfect example. This nigga asked his last wife to tie her tubes because he didn't want any more children. Fucked around, got divorced, went and married another bitch and got her pregnant. Where do they do that at? I'm not fucking with nobody and telling them to get shit tied. Then I'm gonna go sleep with somebody else and get them pregnant. Do you know how big of a slap in the face that is? That shit's crazy. Like, please. And Neo's bald head ass got the nerve to be asking somebody to tie some shit. Like, boy, I'll tie this around your neck. Like, but this is facts. This is what I'm trying to tell you. These are the real facts. People do fucked up shit. So if you make sure that you're tying your tubes for yourself, you will never, ever, ever regret it or feel bad in the end. Because at the end of the day, you did it for yourself. It wasn't for somebody else. I'm pretty sure Neo's ex-wife, feels like shit because she knows what he did to her. He asked her to do something she didn't even really want to do, and then turned around and gave somebody else another baby. You said you didn't want kids. How you add on another child? I mean, you know, the child's a blessing. But at the same time, it's like, I feel like that's a really deep matter, and I would never want to put my heart or myself in that position. So make sure that if you're gonna do something, do it for yourself, and you know, think about it long and hard. So that was today's question, and it was about whether or not this girl should tie her tubes because her husband asked her to, not because she just said, I want to tie my tubes. I hope you guys stay tuned, but yeah, I'm gonna be giving y'all a whole lot of facts. That's what this shit's about. See y'all later.
It's a celebration, what you popping for? Life, of course, dedication, have a couple, 2 or 4. Fuck who's hating, we gon' make it through the jungle, it's a war.